Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. I hope you guys are doing well today. And in this video I want to talk to you about Bless Online and the death, the comeback, maybe, I don't know. We're going to look at the current daily players. It's gone down to around 8,500, 9,500. I mean, it's been a huge drop. This is only actually just updated to show yesterday's score. 8,418 people, which really isn't all that much compared to the highs of 20,000, 15,000 that we saw. I mean, we held 16, 15,000 for a while, went down to the sort of 10, 11 sort of mark, and it's now kind of stabilized a little bit, although this is a massive, massive drop of, what, 1,300 people. We can look hourly, and it's just deteriorating in terms 1,707 players, and that's really not what we want to see. And I'm not here just to bash, I'm here to give the reasons. So, as you can see, you have little old Nomi me dancing in the background. I've got some facts and figures for you, and some causations of this, I think. So, we have the release. The release in itself was a horrible, horrible thing. We had the loading screen issues, we had the lag and FPS issues, we had character creation issues, server issues, both server crashes and them creating more servers, creating inevitable dead servers. Such as the sort of 7 servers we have on the NA are all just barren right now, whereas if you put them all together, or maybe even all into 2 servers, we'd have a decent player base. Instead, we have it now where it's completely dead on like 4 or 5 of those servers. Only Tanara and Lilianthus on the NA servers are actually populated to any degree, and I think that's really, really bad for a game that's built on conflict, seeing other people in the open world. They then had the lack of communication, which they kind of recovered. I mean, we can probably just have a look here, I guess, at their community hub. Let's see when, how frequent their news and sort of information is. 15th of June, I mean, we're on the 19th now, so if that's their last thing, they've not spoken to us for, what, 3 to 4 days now. We had patch notes before, which was literally a patch note to add a world boss. Yeah, because that's what we needed. Urgent maintenance, which in these sort of urgent maintenances, they don't actually tell us what's going on. And then another 4 days back, another couple of days, and this is where they went through their hot streak, so to speak, which I'll talk about in a second. Is they had 8 patches in 7 days, from small translation and bug fixes to major balance patches, seeing class meta change majorly twice in a week, which is absolutely fantastic. And it fizzled, and it feels like someone gave them a lot of blue Smarties that just ran out, and they're kind of on that energy low right now where they don't have the sugar just to keep competing, and that's really, really bad for this game. And we've seen the player base decline from that. We've seen the last couple of days where the only notable content change is they added a world boss that people weren't interested in anyway, because the last world boss only really dropped 100 gold. Yay, that's not what we need, that's not what we want, game. We got told shortly after release that endgame content would be coming roughly 1 to 2 weeks into the game's life, and we just needed to be patient. Enjoy the leveling experience, enjoy the compensation that we had, all this good stuff. Enjoy it all. 2 weeks later, and we don't actually see any other changes in the game other than one world boss, which I've already talked about, and a rotation of BG rules that has been widely disregarded as just terrible, terrible content. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then let's transition into endgame content, actually. Let's talk about the giant elephant in the room, which is the lack of meaningful things to do. Now, when I say meaningful things to do, I want to kind of discuss this idea of activities versus content. Activities is an action that you can do within the game. At any point, or at certain times, you could do this action in the game, and that's great. Content is something meaningful, something that actually has substance, something to actually reward you for doing it. In my mind, that's how, that might not be the official definitions, but that's how I see it. Activities is something I can do, content is something that I want to do, something that I can work towards or challenge or progress through. Now, when we talk about the activities in the game, we have Patella lockouts, Migra lockouts, gathering, monster hunts, leveling ults, taming, and world PvP BGs. let's actually talk about content. In 16 runs of Patella, I've seen 4 epics drop, which is considered to be a good drop rate for me. That's actually, people have told me that I'm lucky to have seen 4 epics dropped. None of which for my class. Let's remember that whatever class I was playing at the time, I never saw an epic drop for my class. Patella runs taking anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes equals 8 hours doing a dungeon that is completely worthless to me. Often costing more to run the dungeon than is actually rewarded within the dungeon. Migratorus completed once, and we had to class stack for that in order for 1 kill on the final boss. The boss then bugged and was not lootable for 3 out of 5 of the party members. And 2, there was no actual loot dropped within the run. The boss also had complete RNG to... It had the ability to crit the tank, occasionally hitting him for 20k. Had the ability to occasionally put a mechanic on the other side of the room, so it's impossible for us to deal with it. Such as if you've done the Migratorus fight, where he puts the blue light down on the other side of the room, so that it's almost impossible for any classes without mobility to actually get there. Paladins I saw doing this, they had to use all of their immunities to even potentially survive that phase, and even then it wasn't guaranteed. It's not actually farmable, and even if it was farmable, it still doesn't drop loot guaranteed. It still doesn't drop loot pretty much at all. Therefore, why would you farm it for the effort that you put into it? We then have gathering, and there is no major resource dump right now, and therefore resources just aren't selling. So in terms of a gatherer that just wants to sell his resources, it's just not a viable option for you right now. We then talk about crafting, and with Migra not being actually completable by most groups, there's nothing really to craft that people want anymore. There's the odd things, stuff like repair kits, which are often... people just are better off farming them than actually buying them, because it's so much easier, so much cheaper, and not worth buying. They're just never worth buying because of this static economy. We then talk about monster hunts. Me personally, I found enjoyment in doing monster hunts. I did close on 70 raids since I started the game, because I could gather 20 odd people, have a laugh and a joke, have a run around, mindless PvE, and occasional world PvP. Zerg v Zerg, and it was really well designed that it was always going to be 20 v 20, or maybe 18 v 22, where you found the occasional person that's just kind of jumped in and you've not had a full raid or whatever, but you've had close to equal numbers within, I would say always within 3 or 4 players, and then it's been a good fight. The winner wins, the loser runs back, you change channels, you continue on, but it was a good fight where you were there, and that was fun. I'm now at a position where all of my 45s have a full set of plus 10 gear, my alts have a full set of plus 10 gear, my pally already has a full set of plus 10 gear, he's not even 45 yet, sat waiting for him when he hits level 37, I have nearly 2,000 Dragon Balls just sat in a bank that I can't do anything with, I can't sell them, I can't use them, there is literally no reason for me to have them, except if I decide to re-roll an alt or a weapon or something like that. I have thousands of taming scrolls from where I've disenchanted the shards and got the dust. There's no reason for me to monster hunt. It's just not rewarding anymore. Leveling alts. Now, I currently have, as I've said, 3 45s. No interest really in playing other classes. I'm doing a paladin right now because I'm bored, honestly. And therefore I'd be making the same classes again. If I really wanted to try hard, I'd be making the same classes to maximise lockouts which aren't dropping loot. Seems kind of pointless. Taming. Ultimately, taming doesn't interest me at the moment. It's not something that I had major interest in playing the game to tame. I know at some point or another legendary pets were going to become a core part of the game where everybody would have had them or everybody would have needed them, and at that point I would have tamed. Right now, epic pets do me just fine, epic mounts do me just fine. I have thousands of taming scrolls if that's ever something I want to pursue, but right now it really, really isn't. Especially with things like lag that just screw with rare tames and things like that. It just makes it as much down to luck as it is down to skill. World PvP. The problem with World PvP is that you need an enemy and an ally. World PvP doesn't typically happen in a 1v1 scenario anymore, and if it does, that's great. It becomes down to, at this point, tic-tac-toe. a Guardian beats a Mage, who beats a Zerker, who beats a Ranger, who beats a this, and you get into this system of one class beats one class, and a Paladin beats all, because he can heal. And that's the problem, is that at the moment, no 1v1 fights are actually worth taking. One, because you have a chance to be hit by a mob and lose your runes. Sorry, what now? And if you see a Paladin, and this is through no fault of anyone who plays a Paladin, they're 99 times more likely to win a fight. That's a made-up statistic. But, you see my point, is that as a mage, I could outplay a Paladin and kite him long enough that I could maybe drop his health low, but if he has a healing stance on, I'm never killing him, because he just heals more than I can do. If he ever connects with me, he's going to CC chain me until he kills me. Game over. And a good Paladin was literally a mortal 1v1. When you then look at situations like on a Saturday, Veritas will take a raid into Spezia on the Tanara server. That's great. But the Union side on Tanara literally go, not worth our time. They don't actually give us anything for killing them. We're just going to sit here and not attack them, waste their time completely, deny content. World PvP just died because there's no reward to it. This is a common theme. There's no reward to any of this. BGs. Now, I love BGs, and BGs is good, meaningless content that you can spam because it is queuable PvP. I know a lot of people hate BGs, I know a lot of people love BGs. I wouldn't want it to be the only source of merit in the game, and I'd actually like World PvP to be that main source. It's not at the moment, and BGs is, so that's fine, I can do them. Ogres? Who the fuck decided Shrek coming into a BG and kicking crap out of people was a good idea? No, come on now, you're better than this. You then go into a situation now which just happened. This literally just happened. CDR. Everybody has cooldown reduction. Pallies, mages, guardians are now literally immune because they can sit there and spam their immunity on cooldown. Why? Why is this a thing, and why is this at a position now where BGs again have been ruined? An easy fix. Make 2 BGs. Same BG maps. You don't have to retexture anything, redo anything like that. Easy game. One with no rules. It's standard. One with your fuckton rules. You do whatever you want in the messed up one, but you leave the standard one the hell alone so that we can queue into normal PvP that is skill based whenever we want. Also, who thought it would be a good idea to put pugs versus pre-mades? Never been a good idea in any game. Pre-made stomp, pugs lose, except for that 1 in 100 scenario that somebody's going to comment down below and say, but I beat a pure luck pre-made, therefore I am the best person in the world. You're not. You really aren't. You got lucky, they had an off game, you had a good team, congratulations. Do it 5 times. I guarantee pure luck will beat your team as you put together any pugs, and in fact, you queue in with any pugs. Pure luck will win 9 times out of 10. They're not perfect, but 9 times out of 10. That doesn't make it fun. Pugs versus pugs, pre-mades versus pre-mades. Have it so that up to 5 people can queue, so that 3 different groups can queue together. At least add an element of pugness in it. Would be a lot better. But they haven't, and this is again the problem. Now, we talked about the declining player base, and I want to just quickly touch on this. Start at the 34,000 peak, which was always going to drop. Right? It was always going to drop because that was release hype. A lot of refunds, a lot of players that just didn't like the early game experience, let's call it. Dropped to lows of 1.5k and highs of 9.5k, which is now sort of 8.7 thousand in the last sort of 24 hours. Now, high population servers in WoW, and this data is based off the EU Draenor PvE server and the NA Tichondrius PvP server within WoW, which is 2 very, very big servers. 3k average player base with lows of 800 on the Draenor server, and peaks of 2.3k with lows of 150 on the Tichondrius server. Bless has more. Now, if Bless put that all onto 2 servers, or 3 servers, 4 servers, whatever, even 2 for EU, 2 for NA, you would see people again, and there would be a little bit of, it would be pushing things in the right direction, and this is what I would like to see. Not, here, we're going to give you your premium again so you can redeem it on another character. So all of that time you've invested onto your main character on another server is completely wasted, but you can do it all again on this server. That's not the answer we want. The answer we want is server transfers. Allow people to come to the servers, one-time only offer. Come to the server, whatever. You don't lose anything. It's not going to screw the economy, because anything that they were doing on that other server, to like turban farming or anything like that, they can already do and just transfer it through the auction house. So it doesn't die at all. Now, this has already been very ranty. I don't actually know how long this is. 15 minutes is not too long. It's not too long. I can get pretty ranty. Could Bless survive if they did... Could Bless survive as a whole? Yes, I think it can. I think it was never going to be an A-tier MMO. I think it just doesn't have what it takes. I think the developers don't have what it takes as well. What does it need to do to survive? 1, the server transfers. Get them done. Get it sorted. 1, maybe 2 servers on each region. I don't know how EU's looking as much as NA, but I think NA is definitely the more concentrated servers, so that maybe EU only needs 1 server as was originally planned. Put NA onto 2, Lilianthus and Tanara if that's what need be, but get it done. That needs to be fixed, and it needs to be fixed fast. I think endgame content needs to be actually added. A raid, give us something to actually aim for. Endgame dungeons, Patella, Migratoris, both need to have the ability to either guarantee 1 drop a run, so that you know upon completing there is a 1 in 5 chance that a piece of gear is going to drop for you. That I will take. Not a 1 in 5 chance that a piece of gear is going to drop for you, and then a 1 in whatever 20 chance that a piece of gear will just drop at all. I don't want to take both odds. Remove 1, allow a piece of gear to drop guaranteed. It'll ruin the economy a little bit by adding these pieces, but ultimately once Migratoris is farmable, people are going to be able to do that anyway by creating their own epics, so it's not a big deal. Get it done. This is something we want to see. BGs, again, add 2 queues. Add 1 queue which is just standard, no rules. Add a second one which has your weird rules on it, because some people might find it enjoyable or might want to play it. Even have a daily win, like your daily quest that's inside the BGs. Have both of them. Have 1 in each, so that you do kind of need to do the other one. But if you don't want to do it, you can just ignore it. That would be great. World PvP, make monster hunts more entertaining. I mean, there's so much you can do. I'm not going to go into it because realistically this is your jobs. You told us endgame content would be here in 2 weeks. You told us these problems would be fixed, and now your player base is leaving. Your money is literally getting up and walking out. You need to fix it. I'm not going to start crying about it because fuck that guy. Your emissaries have told you. Your player base has told you. Get it done. Get it fixed, and Bless still has a chance to actually recover. But right now I think I'm probably done with Bless, at least until we see some notable improvements. So guys, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I have some more stuff coming out in the next couple of days, weeks, whatever. My camera actually changed angles so you can see my sharks. Do you like my sharks? Stroking a shark. Before you question, this is a little bit of trivia actually, a little bit of Guskey trivia. If you've got to the end of the video, the reason I have sharks in my wall is because I actually live in my own house. I live in a rented house, and this used to be like a little boy's bedroom, so they put sharks on the wall to scare the shit out of him apparently. Yeah, so if you got to the end of the video, enjoy my sharks. Yeah, I've got a game I'm going to be testing in the next couple of days, which is actually Warlords Awakening. A little bit of videos going to come out on that in the next couple of days. Other than that, I'm going to be making some more content. Probably won't be streaming for a little while. At the moment, I've just got a lot of stuff going on in my head, and Twitch isn't where I want to be with that. I enjoy YouTube a lot more, so I'll probably just be focusing on YouTube a bit more. But hey, 20-minute video, probably a lot longer than I wanted. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Catch you later, guys.